Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Wednesday, September 8th, and it's seeming very increasingly likely that we're going to miss another World Cup. So that's good. Michael, what's up?
Yeah, I'm doing good. The U.S. men's national team is not.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, it's not looking good after two matches or three, I guess. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Then we'll obviously get into match week 4 a little bit. Premier League, Ronaldo's making his hopefully return to United when they play Newcastle. Spurs play Crystal Palace.
Yep.
See if they can keep their run going forward. I read a big article today about Sevilla, and Sevilla might have the horses to actually win La Liga, considering also that Barcelona is going to be pretty bad. So
Yeah.
all right. So new segment. We're gonna go who wore it best. I'll pick a number. You pick one of these guys or whoever else who you think was the best number 8, and then I'll argue against you. But yeah, so you go ahead. Our choices are Toni Kroos, Juninho, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, and Andres Iniesta.
For the number 8, I'm gonna say Iniesta.
Iniesta. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
I mean, he was just a beast. He was like the focal point of the Tiki-Taka football with Barcelona. Him, Xavi, and Messi. You know, he did it for Barcelona on the big stage. He did it for Spain. He has that World Cup goal.
Yeah.
What else can you say?
Yeah, probably the most famous goal ever, I guess, probably. I'm going to go with Steven Gerrard. He was the captain for the England team. And if you think about like soccer and basically think about England, that also doesn't really pair well with the fact that they haven't won anything in a long time, but whatever. And he was really good at Liverpool. But yeah, so that's just something new instead of today in soccer history, because not something happens in soccer every day. So I had to change it up a little bit. So. All right, on to some trivia. Okay. All right. Pele, Brazilian Ronaldo, and this former U.S. men's national team coach are the only players to have at least 3 goals in 3 World Cups. Who's the other player?
Oh, geez. I have no idea.
Did you listen to the question? It should be a pretty big hint.
The U.S. men's national team coach, right? That's who it is? I honestly don't know.
Klinsmann. Jurgen Klinsmann.
Oh, you know why? I thought he would be American then.
Yeah, no.
I
guess most of them have been American. Yeah, he was like the only German one. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. With 16, this German forward has scored the most goals in World Cup history. Who is it?
I feel like it's someone really old.
It's not really old.
Is it Klinsmann?
No.
I don't know who it is. I don't know this one.
Miroslav Klose. I think he scored I think he played in this last World Cup, I believe, and he scored a goal. He was one of the oldest people to do it. Okay. And then the final one, who has the worst finish as a host country? Basically, worst finish would be basically just not making it out of the group play, which is pretty hard when you're hosting. Right. But so Sweden in 1962, West Germany in 1974, Mexico in 1986, or South Africa in 2010.
I think it's South Africa.
Yeah, South Africa. They did not make it out of their group. They were really bad. So
yeah,
wasn't South Africa the Vuvuzelas as well? Or was that Brazil? I'm pretty sure it was. No, it was South Africa.
Yeah, South Africa.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's get into the news. Let me pull up my okay. So obviously we need to get into the men's national team. I think everyone kind of thought that after the summer, especially winning the Nations League and the Gold Cup, beat Mexico twice, moving up into the top 10 rankings nationally, we all kind of figured hopefully that qualifying wouldn't be like a big issue. Well, we were all wrong. because it's already an issue. The U.S. men's team played El Salvador last week, drew them 0-0. Like, that has to be the worst soccer game in the world to watch. Like, United States versus El Salvador with 0 goals.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah, no. So they drew them. Pulisic didn't play in that game because he was still dealing with the COVID effects. So they drew 0-0. And then on Sunday, they played Canada, who I guess Canada is better than they usually are, but they're still not very good at all. They have Alphonso Davies. That's about it.
Yeah.
And they scored a goal to go 1-0 in like the 67th minute, and then like the 71st minute, Canada tied it up. Weston McKennie didn't play in that game. We'll get into that. And then Gio Reyna is hurt as well. So one of the bigger stories coming out of this is like they sent Weston McKennie home basically because he broke protocol and leaving the hotel. And then one of the days he brought back a visitor. I would assume a female. I don't know. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Because I kind of feel like it's almost to the point where like these young guys, maybe their talent's getting to their head, but it's also at the point where like these young guys are like way better than any Americans have ever played. So I kind of feel like just give them some leeway in some point too. So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I still have faith that they'll qualify because they haven't lost yet. They've tied, so it's not the end of the world. They do have to win against Honduras for sure.
Oh yeah.
But the McKennie story, it's super interesting, and I think it's really funny because I've seen a lot of like tweets. Don't know if they're true, but they're just funny that the visitor he brought back was another teammate's sister.
That's awesome.
So, but and then my friend told me yesterday that the only like teammate sister that he follows on Instagram is Pulisic's. So they think they're having like a beef now. But I mean, that's all speculation and just like
it is all speculation, but that literally sounds like the England World Cup team of like 2006, 2010, 2014, where they were all just infighting about each other's wives.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose to believe that it is Pulisic's sister, just because it's better that way and it's a funny story.
Yeah.
It's not really funny if you think about it because, I mean, we saw what happened to England when guys get like that. So I don't know. But like I said, if it was that, and that's kind of funny. And hopefully there's no like long-term beef there. If it wasn't that, I almost just feel like after, especially after drawing El Salvador, like you needed, like I wouldn't say it was a must-win, but it would have been very, very nice to get 3 points out of that instead of 1.
Yeah.
But at some point, I'm like you don't need to be like Belichick and just sit a guy, no matter how good he is, because he broke a rule. Just be like, you know what, we really just kind of want to qualify for this World Cup. We don't have to win any game. We don't have to think about playing any games in it yet. We just want to qualify for it.
Yeah, and he got sent back to Italy, right? Like he's
sent back to Juventus. Well, and I also feel like all these guys playing like overseas, like I Pulisic probably didn't do, but like I'm sure like Dest in La Liga and McKennie at like Juventus, like they're not like, even when they're on like with their clubs, I doubt they're on like a restricted area or anything like that. So it's kind of got, and I assume that's kind of stuff happens all over in Europe. So like it's almost just like it's just getting into like they're getting into European lifestyle. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. You did say yes, they have a big game at Honduras tonight at 10:30, 7:30 for you. So fuck you. I would say this is about as close to a must win as you can get. Like I don't like. It wouldn't shock me if they drew, they won't fire. Like if they lost to Honduras, I could see a world where Berhalter is like out immediately after the game.
Yeah, I think that would be honestly a bad idea.
I probably agree too.
Just because he's gotten like good stuff out of these guys before, like you got to trust him for like a little while.
Did you watch any of the Canada game?
I saw the highlights.
Well, so in the Gold Cup and the Nations League, they did a lot of counterattacking. Dest only played like 40 minutes in Sunday's game because he got hurt again. That guy's always hurt. But like in the Nations League and the Gold Cup, they were counterattacking. They were playing fast paced. They weren't as worried about possession. And I've always thought that's how like United States teams should play. Like play to your athleticism more than anything. And but like so going from that and then watching them play Canada on Sunday night, it was, I mean, they were playing out through the back. They would just, there were very few players that were open. Like Pulisic was just trying to find open spaces. I don't know why he decided to slow it down or like why he's not counterattacking, or I mean, he knows more than I do, but it looked like the U.S. in that game never looked like they were going to win. Like even after they scored and they immediately responded, I mean, I thought for sure they were going to lose. I thought they would get another goal. But yeah, and I think one of their biggest problems right now is they don't. I mean, Sargent was supposed to be this guy coming up for, I don't know, like the last 3 or 4 years. Everyone's been talking about him. Clearly, he hasn't really panned out or something. I don't know, because they don't really have a true forward right now. Like I know they put like the Jordan Sebetu, like, but that's the type of thing where like even in qualification, and then once you get to like at the actual World Cup, like U.S. has always had like at least Josie Altidore, Clint Dempsey, like guys that are clinical around the 18-yard box. Like other than Pulisic, like I don't know who they put up front. Like maybe Giassi Zardes just because he's tall to get his head on things. They just, now that Sargent's like falling off, it just seems like they're kind of lost up front.
Yeah, they got something. They got to change something. I don't know. I don't exactly know what it. I mean, like you said, like they need to focus more on the counterattacking. Like that's a perfect strength. Like they're so fast and just more athletic than they have to be more athletic than Honduras.
Yeah, and like I've always said that. I'm like, I even said it for basketball and stuff too. Like I don't like the way Virginia plays basketball. Obviously, it was good 2 years ago when they won it all, but like that's why Virginia is so easy to upset for me, is because they play in such low-scoring games that you don't really even have the opportunity to blow somebody out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I just it was because I didn't watch the El Salvador match, but like watching that versus Canada was literally black and white, different from the Gold Cup and the Nations League.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say my boy Miles Robinson was out there, but he's pretty good. So, and you said you're still confident. You think they're going to qualify?
I think so.
I'll say I think so too. Right now, I think we'll know a lot more when we record next week, because I think if they lose or draw this, like I always say, like I'm not pressing the panic button yet, but it's like right next to my desk. Like I'm ready to press it. So, but yeah, we'll see what that turns into. But hopefully they get a win tonight, or just score more than a goal. Just like even draw 4-4 or something. That's fine.
Yeah, make it interesting.
And then I don't know if you've read about any of this, but like some of the Brazilian and Argentine players aren't going to be able to play in the Premier League. Do you know more about this?
I know, well, because I know more about the Argentinian side, because Tottenham has 2 Argentinian players, Lo Celso and Romero. And then they were like the English clubs asked Argentinian and like Colombian and I think Brazilian too, all those South American players to not go because like the restrictions there, you can't go from England straight to Brazil, I think. Like you have to do something in between. But they all ignored that and they went. So I know during the Argentina Brazil game, like the Brazilian health, whatever they are, the health officers, they like stopped the game and like were trying to deport Lo Celso and Romero, and then 2 Aston Villa players also. And then obviously they can't just deport them. But the game got canceled, and then those players are getting fined and they're getting sent back to the English clubs. So at the end, it's good for the English clubs, but it's just like it's such a mess. Like why it even happened.
Yeah, I'm trying to like I have the article pulled up. I'm trying to read it and find some like like clear value out of it. I don't know. It says Fred might miss a game, but that sometimes might be good because McTominay is better. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Brazilian players are missing a game because they have to quarantine when they come back. And then I think that's the same for the Argentinian and Colombian players too.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I mean, oh, and I didn't put this on the outline, but did you see that they had to like postpone the Guinea versus whoever World Cup qualifier because there was a coup d'etat going on in the country?
I did not. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
the military was like in the middle of taking over the country, and they were trying to play the soccer game, and then they were like, "We're not going to do it." So,
I'm gonna
yeah,
have
it
to
was in
Google
like
that.
the middle of a coup d'état.
That's crazy.
All right, Memphis. I don't know how Memphis has gone from the way he was at United, which was like Alexis was really bad for United. Memphis might have been worse for United. Like,
Yeah.
and then now he's just tearing it up. He had a hat trick for the Netherlands in one of their qualifiers. If you're Barcelona, you got to be happy he's in good form because right now he's probably one of the only like superb players they have.
Mhm.
So they have to be at least happy about that, I guess. But other than that, yeah, it's just I can't believe that play like that's the same thing with Pogba. Pogba left, became a star at Juventus, and then came back to it's I don't know,
Mhm.
it's weird. So and then Jesse Lingard, Man United made him a new contract offer because this summer he'll walk. He rejected it. He wanted first team assurances. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I don't blame him at all, especially with Ronaldo coming in the team this weekend. I I struggle to find a spot where Mason Greenwood gets on the field, let alone Jesse Lingard, who
Yeah.
played well for England over the weekend, but like Jesse Lingard, like he might be like in the like some of the English League Cups, so he'll start. That's about it.
Yeah.
Their midfield is just way too crowded, and their wings are way too crowded as well. So, all right. I don't know why I keep putting match week 3. I think it's match week 4.
Yeah. It's 4.
So let's just go through some of the games, and then we'll get into some Liga, some Bundesliga, and then maybe some players for us each who watched this weekend, and then of course our new segment, which is very simple, but I'll go to it when we get there. 5-a-side of NBA players. So Spurs, top of the table, hosting, or they're going to Crystal Palace. I don't know. They're playing Crystal Palace. I have no reason to believe, as like not a Spurs fan, as an outsider looking in, like I have no reason to believe they shouldn't beat Crystal Palace pretty easily, right?
You'd think, but there's a lot of underlying issues with Spurs, right? Not underlying. It's just I hate international breaks just to start it off. I think they're
You,
stupid,
you guys are the goddamn like Nets or
but they're
the
just getting
Lakers.
they have so many injuries. So they have 3 players out because they're South American from quarantine, 3 starters, and then they have Son just got hurt. He hurt his calf, but we don't know how long he's out. Steven Bergwijn hurt his ankle, and then Oliver Skip and Ryan Sessegnon both got hurt in the U21 English games. So, I mean, they should still be able to win, but it's tougher now. But I think this is a good game because I don't want to get ahead of myself again. But if they're trying to challenge for the title, you got to win these games like at an opponent's pitch without your best players sometimes.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no, that's like
it's a good test.
yeah, it's like like football saying like if like we can't get if it's 4th down, we can't get these 6 inches from LSU, then we don't deserve to beat them. So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I would also say that if I was a Spurs fan, I would rather. I mean, obviously, we don't think the Sun injuries
Yeah.
severe. At least we
Yeah.
hope it's not. If I'm Spurs right now, I would have rather had Harry Kane go down than Son.
Yeah, but hopefully if he does miss the game, we don't even know if he's going to miss it. I wouldn't be surprised if he misses just one, but hopefully this like Harry Kane like has a real game and like kind of goes off and kind of like wins all the support back.
Yeah, so we never really talked about that, and I guess this just kind of came into my mind. Harry Kane kind of has to have like a really good season.
He definitely does.
Like if he like I mean, he's the type of player where he's never gonna like go full crickets on you and do like absolutely nothing. But I think if he's not above double digit goal scoring and like things like that, I don't know how many points he scores a year on average or whatever. But yeah, I think he'll start hearing it from people towards the end of the season if it's not looking good for him.
Yeah, definitely.
And then probably what will be the most watched game this weekend, I would think. Yeah, because there's not many big games. Ronaldo will hopefully return to United. I think they're at Newcastle, so it won't be at Old Trafford, which also makes me – it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't dress for this one, which I think would get a lot of people mad, considering we've been looking forward to this like me. I've been looking forward to this for 3 weeks. It was announced like 3 weeks ago, and I still haven't seen him play in the red and white. So, but yeah, just the fact that they're away wouldn't surprise me if he didn't play. But I do think it will be. I think it'll be exciting no matter what. It's another game that, with all the talent that United has up front, like they need, like when they're beating bad teams, like they should beat Newcastle pretty handily. Like they need to be scoring 3 and 4 goals a game just because they have the ability to do that. I mean, they have so many scorers up there. And then you just got to hope Varane and I always forget his name. Yeah, Maguire. I want to say McLaughlin. The Browns kicker's name is McLaughlin, so I don't know why, but yeah, Maguire. So you got to hope they work out. But the two the two fullbacks are I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka might be the best, like an open space defender in the world, and then Luke Shaw is just really good going forward. But I would not be surprised if he doesn't play. I'll be disappointed if he doesn't play, and I would also be disappointed and surprised if they don't get 3 points here. And then I guess we have to talk about Arsenal. They are taking on Norwich, correct?
Yeah, Norwich.
And Norwich must be really, really bad because no, they're not playing Norwich. Oh, they might be. Shoot, I'm way too far.
They are.
Yeah, I'm way too far ahead because Arsenal is favored by a full goal in this game. And I'm going to make this my lock of the week for any of you guys betting out there. I would take the Norwich money line. I will take the money line, but I would taking Norwich +1 is also an easy way to safeguard your bet, just because I don't think Arsenal's capable of beating anyone in the league by more than 1.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Yeah, but I know we've kind of talked about it. If you're Arsenal, where do you go from here? Do you just put all the young guys in? Like, let's go sink or swim?
I don't know how. Firstly, I don't know how Arteta is still the manager. I think
every day that passes, I get more and more surprised.
Yeah, I think that's the first step. Got to fire him. But I mean, of course, at some point they're going to win a game, and they're good. But first, they have to score, I guess. So they haven't done that yet. This may end up being a good game because it's like two teams that are kind of battling relegation right now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But Norwich, I mean, their first 3 games was Liverpool, City, and Leicester. So
they lose all 3?
They lost all 3. They lost 3-0, 5-0, and then 2-1. But they were expected to get relegated again after they just came back up. But I mean, this has to be an opportunity for them too.
Yeah, I mean, if you gotta look at it this way, like if you're a lower level team, like even like West Ham, who's kind of good, but like not like one of the top 6 or whatever, like you don't get these chances. Like these chances come around probably like once a decade, where that like you'll have the chance to beat one of the big 6 like twice a year.
Yeah.
So I do think people are gonna start coming for Arsenal's head. Like I think Arsenal's like. I don't want to be morbid, but like I feel like Arsenal is just like laying there bleeding out, but like everyone else is just keep stabbing them no matter what because they want more blood. So,
Yeah.
like I said, that's my lock for the weekend. Take that one. Leicester City, Manchester City. Thoughts?
It should be a good game. I mean, Leicester's just good. Like they're good, and they've been good for a while.
Yeah, and I'll get a little bit more to them when I get one of my players to watch. Yeah, but I mean, there will be a movie made someday about like Leicester, like the
Oh yeah,
years how they rose up, and then how they won, and everyone thought they would drop right back down, and they're consistently in the top 6 now.
yeah. They
So
also have like the best manager or the best owner in like all of, because he like actually cares about the team. He's not just like a money machine. Like he actually loves the team, and you like see him celebrating when they win. So you can't really hate Leicester.
yeah, maybe one show in the future we'll just do like a full show just remembering the season that they won because I remember it and like as it was getting closer to the end, I just kept being like, "There's no way! Like, there's no way they're
Yeah.
gonna win this, right? Like, someone's gonna beat them," and they did, and then it was crazy. So yeah, that's always interesting. And then Chelsea take on Aston Villa.
Are they
How
really
much?
plus 900?
What?
Or is Chelsea really plus 900?
No. No.
Okay.
I just all the underdogs are. I just put the underdogs for money
Oh,
line.
oh, oh.
Yeah, because I probably if you bet on Chelsea, it's probably like minus 450. You'd make like $1 betting $5.
That's not a bad bet for Villa. I think Aston Villa is good.
Yeah, I think Aston Villa is good too. But I also
Chelsea is
think
also good.
Chelsea's really, really,
Yeah.
really good. Once again, I believe I put this on there. But this is a full goal. Oh, this is a goal and a half. That's another one that if you're betting, I would not go in on the money line unless you're, a Villa fan or whatever. But definitely plus a goal and a half. That means you don't even. So that means even if they lose by 1, you don't push even, you win. So that's a good one. But yeah, Chelsea's so good. So one of the questions I had like coming into it, like, so it seems like Pulisic for Chelsea, like it's just he goes like of spells where he plays a lot, and then he goes a long spell where he plays very little, and then he just like goes back and forth. So at what point are we as like US fans, US soccer fans, like, all right, I just want to see him play like first team football like every weekend.
Yeah. I think now, I mean,
I agree. Like he's what 21, 22.
yeah. I mean, he could be the best winger at Chelsea, but the thing that hurts him is the system they play with 3 at the back. So then they
Yeah,
lose one attacker, and then obviously Lukaku's going to play, and then Mount and Havertz have to play also. Like
yeah,
they just have too many players, too many good players.
yeah. And I remember reading something like earlier in the maybe before the season or like during the first week of the season, that Tuchel was actually using Pulisic at times in practice, like as one of the wing backs,
Yeah.
which I I I I don't hate that because I mean that's pretty much what Sergio Dest plays for Barcelona, and then he plays right. Not the same thing, but I. Like I said, I think I'm just at the point where I'm like, dude, I don't care if you're playing for West Ham, I don't care if you're playing for Aston Villa. Like, you just need to be in the starting lineup pretty much every weekend.
Yeah.
Like,
He could play at a big club for sure. Like, I
yeah,
mean, he walks into Arsenal for sure.
he
I
would
think,
be. He might be the best player. They have Aubameyang or whatever, Aubameyang still,
yeah,
right? Yeah, but he'd step in there and be like a top 3, top 4 player.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see as more of our U.S. players decide to go overseas because it seems like now. Okay, so I'll pose a question this way. There's seemed to be a run recently of like the older European players, like they'll come play in the MLS for like the last year or two. We just make a lot of money. And now all of our young players that used to play in the MLS are literally just trying to go overseas now whenever they can.
Right.
So is the MLS just going to become like a bunch of old Europeans and like failed college soccer players?
I feel like that's what it already is.
It is crazy, and I think I've mentioned it on here before, but it's crazy to go from like an MLS game and then just switch to the channel, like go up or down into like a Premier League or La Liga or any of those three, and
Yeah,
it's
it's so
just
different.
it's you look at it and you're like, this isn't the same sport. Like
Yeah.
this isn't even close to the same sport. So
I mean, if you think about it, the best player in the MLS was Zlatan, and he was like 40. And then now it could easily be like Carlos Vela, and he's old and he's not American. So, I mean, they definitely. I'm very low on the MLS. I think they got a lot of work to do.
yeah, because there was that. So did I ever tell? Well, first of all, did I ever tell you that I saw Freddie Adu play for the DC United
No,
during his
that's
rookie
so
year?
funny.
Yeah, I was in DC with like my family. I think I was like in 8th grade. I got like a Freddie Adu like t-shirt jersey. It was great. Then he just didn't end up being like. Did he ever play for the national team?
I don't think so.
I don't think
Like,
he did
it's
either.
not a name you really like resonate with anything.
No, yeah, no, that's funny. All right, let's go to La Liga. It's three real big questions here. I think I'll leave the first one for last. What do we think the basement is for Barcelona this year? Like, not necessarily like literally everything goes wrong, but they don't have a good season, injuries, pickup, things like that. What do we think's the lowest they could go?
For Barcelona, I think
You think they're guaranteed like a top 4?
it's fourth is the lowest they can go.
Okay.
Just because, like, they still have players. Like they have like PK, they have Alaba, like they have these like guys who have done it for so long. I feel like they can get the best out of their year, and they have good young guys. Like Pedri is a beast. Memphis,
Yeah.
Memphis is great. Aguero is going to come back eventually. Like fourth, I think is the lowest. I don't think they're going to get fourth. I think they'll do better, but fourth is the lowest.
And then for Madrid, obviously after missing out on basically everyone, who I guess I don't even know who really plays for Madrid anymore other than Vinicius. So I'm just going to skip that question unless you have an answer for me on that one.
I think Hazard and or Bale have to have big years.
Yeah, how old is Hazard though? Hazard's got to be almost 30, if not over 30.
I think he might be 30, but his body looks like he's 50. He looks old. Like he's not the same.
I guess I'll have to. I guess I haven't looked at Eden Hazard really. Is his brother is his brother better than him at this point?
He might be. He definitely plays more.
Yeah.
So there's more sample size for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think if he can get back to anything close to his Chelsea days, he's like a top 10 player in the world when he's like that.
Oh
He
yeah,
was so
yeah.
good.
Well, I also just his style of play was so conducive for the Premier League like that.
Yeah.
So like it used to surprise me, and now it doesn't anymore. But like these guys that go from the Premier League over to like the Bundesliga or Liga, like they're just completely different leagues, and like the Premier League is just deeper as well. So yeah. And then I kind of asked at the beginning, but Sevilla's on top of the table, 3 for 3, I believe. Do they have the horses to win it all, take the league home?
I don't think so. Honestly, I feel like Atletico might win it again. Like they just got better and better. I don't know. I mean, Griezmann hasn't been great, but if he goes back to like his Atletico days, like he's back. Like maybe him and Luis Suarez form like a surprise partnership, and they just take the league by storm. I wouldn't be surprised.
Who did United lose to in the Europa League last year, the finals?
Villarreal.
Villarreal. Okay. See, the only reason I think Sevilla might be able to, are they in the Champions League?
They are.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, they're not good enough to win. Nope. Okay. Answered my own question. I was gonna say because if they're more rested and are able to focus completely on the league, it might help them. But
Yeah.
maybe that's what they should do. Like they're not going to win the Champions League. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's what I always think. And then this is off topic, but there's a Sevilla player named Koundé who was like Sevilla and Spurs agreed to a transfer for him, and they just had to have him agree. And he said, "No, I want to play in the Champions League." I'm like, "Well, I get that, but it's not like you're gonna win. So like, why not just come to Spurs and like help them get to the Champions League?" Well, that's water under the bridge. He can stay at Sevilla and lose the Champions League.
That's a great 360 away from Spurs not being in the Champions League. That's great deflection.
Yeah.
Great.
Well,
deflection.
I mean, I know they're not there. They got to get there. That's
I know you know they're not there.
Yeah, everyone knows.
All right, move on to the Bundesliga. Wolfsburg is still on top of the league. I didn't look much into this, only that I assume it's because they played nobody.
Yeah, I can tell you. I would say there's zero chance they win.
I don't really have much more for the Bundesliga. Big match this weekend: Leverkusen and Dortmund, and then Leipzig versus Bayern. Bayern is literally, in my opinion, after watching Alabama this weekend, they are the Alabama of soccer. It's like you think they're going to get worse the next year somehow, or like lose some players, and they're just amazing.
Well, last year they finished first, and Leipzig finished second, and Bayern got Leipzig's coach, their best center back, and their captain. They're all on Bayern now, so
nice.
That kind of just shows you what the Bundesliga is.
Exactly. Okay. Some players to watch this weekend. I just have you can name one or two or three, doesn't really matter. Obviously Ronaldo is on mine. Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't dress, but I think he will. I think it's more likely he comes on in the second half, but we'll see. I'd love to see him start. Lingard's not going to play at all this weekend, so it doesn't really matter. Pulisic needs to, I would almost for the U.S. game tonight, like Pulisic just needs to go one-on-one and just win it for the whole team at this point. I mean, they need to win badly. And then Jamie Vardy, it's the guy never seems to age, and he still scores a lot of goals, but he's always a very interesting player because I feel like everyone hates him, but he's kind of good. So I don't know.
I think it's because he loves that everyone hates him. Because like he scores against Wolves and he howls at the fans, or like scores against Crystal Palace and acts like a bird. But I mean, it's because he drinks so much Red Bull. I'm telling you.
Is he the one that drinks all the Red Bull?
Yeah, he's the one who drinks like 4 before a game.
That's not healthy.
No, it's not. But he's putting the ball in the back of the net, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and so he's basically, instead of like having a sugar high, he's like having like a caffeine high, but he's been having it for like the past 10 years, and he's got like 2 more good years in him, and then he's going to do on the ultimate caffeine crash and be terrible. So
he's just going to hibernate for like 3 years.
Yeah. All right, who you got?
It got to be Ronaldo. I think he's going to suit up. I feel like he's going to play. Maybe as a sub.
Yeah. I would be shocked if he didn't find the field at some point.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna go Harry Kane because it looks like we'll be without Son, so he's gonna have a big game. I'm gonna say all of Arsenal. Because they lost to Brentford on the first day. They got surprised. And then they lost to Chelsea and City, 2 good teams. But this one, if you lose this one, if they lose this and Arteta's not fired,
he can just stay there for the rest of his life.
Yeah, they're done for. And then last, I'll say Zach Steffen for City because he's probably going to be in keeper. Oh, he's out?
Yeah, he's got COVID.
Well, then the other City keeper, the third string, I guess. Go to
ESPN after this. There's an article on him.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's like a 36-year-old. So that's good for him. He'll have a good one. Do you want to do 5-a-side or you got to get running?
We can do it quick.
All right.
Okay, explain it.
Pretty simple. Pick 5 aside, but it's not soccer players, NBA players playing soccer.
Okay, they're playing soccer.
Yeah.
Are we doing former or current NBA players?
We'll do current today.
Okay. Because otherwise I would just pick Kobe and Steve Nash. Because I know, because they were like soccer. Okay, you can pick first.
You know what? I'm going to go with the 6th overall pick this year. I'm going to go with Josh Giddey from Australia. Probably knows a little bit about soccer. Really good passer. Can't shoot, but that's all right because you don't really necessarily need to shoot in soccer like you need to shoot in the NBA.
Right.
Hat tip Ben Simmons, who, by the way, off topic completely, wants to come to Cleveland. If he is in Cleveland, I will. Okay, your turn. Your pick.
I'm gonna go with Jimmy Butler because he's best friends with Neymar. So I feel like that means he must know something about soccer.
Okay.
We have to pick a keeper also.
Yeah, I know. That's okay. I'm going Joel Embiid is my keeper.
That's a good one.
I feel like he's got a quicker twitch and is like more athletic than Jokic, so that's what I'm going with.
I'm gonna go with Giannis as my keeper because he's just long. I feel like he could reach both posts without moving.
That's a good pick. Dang it. I hate Giannis though, so okay. All right. Okay. All right. So Josh Giddey will be my midfielder. Who do I want on defense? I want Marcus Smart on my defense.
That's a good one.
He could play soccer defender like for 15 minutes right now.
Yeah.
He's actually tall for soccer. He's 6'3", so
yeah,
be able to head the ball away, and he just plays really hard. So yeah, I'm going with Marcus Smart.
I'm gonna go with. I mean, everyone is gonna be tall for soccer, but I'm gonna say. Yeah, I'm just gonna take LeBron. I feel like LeBron could do something. Like he could be like, I don't know what he could do. Not a lot with the ball, but he could run by some people.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. All right, and then I'm taking Ja Morant in my midfield.
That's a good one too.
All right. Cool.
I'll take Russell Westbrook.
God!
He's going to be my pseudo Adama Traore. Just blows by everyone and hits like the fourth row in the fans.
All right, I'm going to go – I have the weirdest team. I'm going to go De'Aaron Fox, put him up front. Maybe the fastest player in the NBA, put him up front. And also he's tall for soccer at 6'3", so I'm going De'Aaron Fox.
I'm going to go – so I have LeBron. I'll put LeBron up top. I think Westbrook will play defense. Jimmy in the mid. And then I'm going to take – this one might be a surprise. I'm going to take Gordon Hayward. I feel like he's got that like midfield thing. Like he could do it. I feel like he could do it.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a really bad pick.
I like it.
Okay,
he's my box-to-box midfielder.
Okay, all right. I mean, Josh Giddey's gonna shut him down, so it doesn't matter. No. All right. So that's gonna do it for us today. We'll do another one of those next week too. Those are always fun. Like I said, my locks of the weekend. Take Where is it? Take Villa plus 1.5, and I would also sprinkle some on Norwich's money line. Michael, do you have any gambling tips?
No, I don't like giving gambling tips. I feel bad if they lose, but I think for sure the Norwich one is a lock, the money line. Or yeah. You could take anything on Norwich, honestly, and it would be a pretty good bet.
Yeah. Because Arsenal's just falling apart. So
yeah.
All right. Well, probably be back. Probably back next week. Same time, same place. Win for Spurs this weekend? Yes or no?
Gotta be.
Okay. I'm taking a win for us. United, big win over Newcastle. That's about it. So we will see you next week.
See ya.
See ya.